Welcome to another NEBA Spotlight. Today, I'm very happy to present Mike. Mike, tell us about you. Tell us about your business.
Well, thank you, Greg. Delighted and extremely grateful to have the opportunity. So I'll start off with this. This is like, check out this excited little girl here. And this is really the brainstorm of entrepreneurship, right? We start out on day one. We have this dream, this vision. This is where we're going to take our business. We think it's going to give us a time freedom and financial freedom and make an impact in the world. And then we get out there and we start doing it, and we find out this other stuff I need to learn. So does this happen to you sometimes? You go from this is great to is this great? And is your company providing you the joy and happiness and time freedom and financial freedom? And it often can become quite challenging and overwhelming. So what I do in my business is I turn overwhelmed entrepreneurs into confident and unstoppable CEOs. And that's a big ask and a big task, but there's a journey that we all go on. We start, we want to grow, we want to get to that next level, whatever that next level will be, and it's different for every single one of us. I'll just share quickly my journey. I built 6 companies over the last 30 years, 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. My largest grew to 25 million. I had 50 employees, and that business sold about $250 million in product to major retailers. So I've had some highs and some lows. I had investors and partners and banks and sat on boards, and I did a bunch of that businessy stuff. And I did have some great wins. I had some huge businesses and made a bunch of money. And I've also had massive crashes that took the wind out of my sails, crashes that, quite frankly, ate away at me to the point where I almost lost everything. So it can be business building, starting, having an idea, can be an emotional and financial roller coaster. My greatest company that I've ever built is I have 2 children. One of them is my daughter is 23 years old, and she is graduated college. She graduated WPI a couple of years ago and now works out in California. And my son is a senior at Babson, and he's going to be graduating in the spring. So to me, when people say, what's your legacy? None of the business stuff matters. It's all pales in comparison to being a great dad and being a great husband. So that's sort of a foundation to the way that we teach our business. Most of my clients start off this way. They may be going a little bit crazy. My ideal client is typically stuck, frustrated, maybe burnt out there. At that point where they're taking their business. Again, my ideal client is living in what I call the lonely zone. They're running a business anywhere from 100K to 5 million. And they're spending a lot of time fighting fires. They're busy doing stuff, but not necessarily accomplishing the steps that they need to get to that next level. Not sure about financials and cash flow, typically out of balance. And trying to stay in balance when you're building a business and building a life and having family and kids and parents and all that stuff, it can become a drain. And I always say that flying the plane of entrepreneurship solo is a recipe for a disaster. So most of my clients are also looking to make more money, more impact, have more time freedom. So that's the goal, that's the vision, but it doesn't always materialize that way. Most importantly, I call my ideal client in this zone, they're in the lonely zone. And typically I say, if your bathroom mirror is your board of advisors, it might be fun to invite Mike to the next meeting. So it's tough when we're looking into that mirror and trying to get the secret strategies to take our business to that next level. So most of my clients are in the service-based industries or in consumer products, a variety of different businesses all over the place, but all with the same drive, the same reason, the same passion. And this is why I love entrepreneurs, because you had the guts to tell your boss to screw or say, you know what, I'm taking control of my own destiny. So why do I do what I do? Building a company and running a business doesn't have a high success rate. After year 1, typically 25% fail. After 5 years, half fail. And by 10 years, 80% don't make their 10th birthday. So I've lived the highs and the lows of building companies. And why I do what I do is because I know the challenge of pain, and I'm in the purpose of what I do is to help you entrepreneurs get to that next level and avoid this challenge. There's typically 6 steps that we use when clients come on board and join our world. I think that you cannot build a company beyond your brain, and all of the stuff that's gone into our mind since birth has an impact. So we focus on mindset, get you to the point where, there's no such thing as becoming ultimately fearless, but you got to get that. You got to put the good stuff in. We craft a vision as to where you want to go. I always say, design your dream life that aligns with the values and goals of your dream business. I've got some very rich, successful, dead friends. And I say that tongue in cheek, but it's true. They built a business, they grew the business, but they missed that thing called health. And some friends that have, they're on the 3rd or 4th marriage because they have a successful business. Some friends that don't know their children. And those are painful situations. So craft a vision, learn how to keep score. Many entrepreneurs that I know don't learn how to keep score. You have to know what to do. You have to know your numbers. You don't have to be an expert at it. The next thing, if you want to truly transition to becoming an entrepreneur, I mean a CEO versus an overwhelmed entrepreneur, you need to learn how to build a team. What does your team look like? What are the things? I always say, figure out what you love and what you're good at and hire the rest. Bring people on, whether it's virtual assistants or just adding to your team. Craft that vision for your team. We need to learn how to sell. If it is our business, you don't always have to be out on the street selling your products, but you need to be selling your vision to your team. We have to go through the 7 steps. I think it's essential. People need to know, like, and trust you. Then they can try, buy, repeat, and refer. And that's one of the beautiful things about a networking group like this. It creates that aura of know, like, and trust, especially the one-to-ones. And then finally, it's an evolution. We have to evolve. And you go through that journey. How do you get to the point where you believe that you have the confidence to be a CEO? You master the skills. You get to that point where you are so confident in your ability that you start to focus on all of the good things. And again, I think the most important word that most entrepreneurs don't use is the word no. We need to be saying no to the stuff that is not part of our focus. It's not part of our priority. And it becomes very challenging, especially when you have situations where you may have mom or dad is sick, or your kids are sick, or your dog is sick, or whatever it may be, you're going through some personal health challenges. It is hard. And the way that I go about the journey is I call this the Entrepreneur's Trilogy. We live and star in 3 movies simultaneously. I call them Heart Set, Mindset, Skill Set. Heart Set, our health, the number one thing we take for granted, our home, friends and our family, and our happiness. And if this is not paramount in your journey, we need to do what my good friend Zig Ziglar used to say, we need to check up from the neck up, because we don't want to build a business that's not in alignment with great health, great family, great relationships, and our happiness. The second movie is called Mindset, which is all the stuff that goes into our brain. How do we craft that? And then ultimately Skill Set. Ultimately, it's like we need to learn the fundamentals. I call this the heartbeat of business. Business can be very complex, but all 3 of these things are operating and changing simultaneously within our journey. So if you want 2024 to be your greatest year ever, I would challenge you to surround yourself with people that are playing the sport of business at another level. I'm part of 2 different mastermind groups because it's people that are pushing me, challenging me, trying to challenging my thought process, my belief systems. I have 2 different mastermind groups. Mastermind Savage Sounding Board is entrepreneurs running business anywhere from 100K to $500,000. And my Savage 7 Academy, these are entrepreneurs running or soon to be running 7-figure multi-million-dollar companies. Some of the clients I've worked with, Paul is in IT services, struggling, got to that next point. He's running a powerful business now, building his team. Pat is in the marketing and website development world. Josh is a construction general contractor, and he had the greatest story in my life. It was he was in Disney with his kids, and he said, "Mike, this is the first time in my life I've never thought about money." So a handful of different clients that have all been through this journey. And if anyone wants to grab a quick call with me, If you've got your phone, you can scan this. I'll also put my calendar link in the chat box. I'd love to talk to you, learn about your journey, learn about where you want to go. So hopefully I'm on time, Greg. Thank you again for the opportunity. Pleasure to be part of this group. And Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year.
Mike. And Happy New Year to you. What's the best way to reach out to you if people are interested in connecting with you?
Yeah, it's a chat box. I'd love to, I'll plug it in again, but my calendar is right in there. I'd love to grab a call with anybody who's interested and, just wants to talk about, hey, I want to take my business to that next level. And I would say the greatest learning laboratory on earth is at the feet of someone who's already done what you're trying to do. Whether you're trying to play pickleball or you're trying to golf or you're trying to build a business.